Good morning, everyone. Really appreciate you all being here this morning. And thanks, of course, to Harvard for inviting us all here. Definitely an honor, and we're happy to be here today. I know I speak for all of us here when I say that. As Charanya was saying, we have people from all over, and I'm just going to, our detailed bios are all there, of course. But just to sort of give you a lay of the land in terms of why the people who are here truly represent marketing as we know it in India today. I'm going to start off with Rajat Mehta. He is the president and the country head of Yes Bank. He has two titles because one isn't cool enough. And that's banking. He truly understands the broader spectrum of brands, sponsorships. He also knows stuff about IPL if you want to know it. All of it, the broader portfolio of what it means to be in banking. He's a master of it all, and because that doesn't keep him busy enough, he's also an avid sportsman and traveler. While most of the people are talking about the EMIs that they need to pay before a certain age, his goal has been to be in all of the 7 continents before a certain age. So that's Rajat Mehta for you. We also have Babita, who's from advertising. Again, what's marketing without advertising? So she's here to represent that spectrum, a really enviable list of brands. She's been exposed to all of them. And she also does the lecture circuit and teaches in a lot of the reputed institutes. That's Babita for us. Then we have Satyaki Ghosh, who is the director of consumer products of L'Oreal. He represents the CPG world, because obviously that's going to be critical. And he knows all there is to do. He also understands retail, and he can tell you things about random places like Bitia and Babua and things like that. And he'll sort of you don't know that these places exist. If you're wondering, those are real places that exist in Bihar. And finally, we have Jesse to truly represent the entrepreneur's world, which is a big part of India today, and you've been hearing about it in the last 48 hours. And she's the CEO of Paul Reiter Strategic Advisory. But before that, she has been the CMO of Wipro. She also has been part of the Infosys world. These, again, are truly Indian brands, and she understands that part of the world. So that's our panel for you. They may not be Bollywood celebrities, but they are rock stars. And so we're very, very happy to have them here today.
Thank you, Nima. And thank you, Charanya, and to everyone here for inviting me. It's an absolute pleasure. To start with, they are still very, very strong storytelling ads. But I'll tell you how things are changing. There is, in fact, a seismic shift in marketing today in the country. And that's primarily been driven by 3 factors. The first one is retail infrastructure and measurement of media, which is far stronger than what it was before. So today we have malls, we have organized retail, we have e-commerce, which is expanding the market. There are goods which are available, and therefore there is a minimization of wastage, which means that there is a market and marketers are confident about investing in the country. Now, this leads to what we call a crowded marketplace, because every category, Nima, unlike the time you're talking about maybe 10 years earlier, which had 2 or 3 key players, and most of the others would have been a little unorganized or whatever.
So let's
today,
say 10 years earlier.
Yeah, 10 or 15, yeah. But today you have key players which are organized, which are local, which are MNCs, and they are all playing a very, very strong game. The second factor, which is very critical, is the explosion of media. I mean, some of us, we grew up at a time when there was one TV channel, and there was one broadcaster, which was Doordarshan. I mean, I remember me and my sister, we would go to the neighbor's house to watch television because we didn't have our set yet. And I remember each and every program now. It started off on Sunday with Mahabharat, and then there was a regional show in the afternoon. There was Rangoli. Yes, thank you so much, Satyaki. Then there was Spider-Man in the evening, The World This Week. There was a feature film, and in between the feature feature film, there was Krishi Darshan, which was for farmers. I remember everything. I don't know whether all of them were as emotional, but we do, because there were so few choices. Over 1,000 channels available only for broadcast. We have had numbers of 240, 266, 1 billion, but the fact is there is another screen in the consumer's hands today. And this screen, even if it is a mobile phone and not a smartphone with audio, is actually transferring the consumer directly to Web 2.0, which is you are almost skirting the digital age, which is through laptops, through computers, and your first interface with web is actually through social media on your phones. What does that mean? It means that we are vying as marketers with a lot of free content. It is not just about one ad versus the other, or whether a chocolate brand is more emotional than a financial brand. It is about content which is being uploaded by consumers. It's about regional songs. It's about Bollywood. And all of this are coming together as something that the consumer is seeing and collaborating and participating with. That's the second point. The third one, which is very, very critical, is the change in the consumer's mindset today. Again, we grew up at the time, at least some of us in the panel, not you, because most of you would be millennials, but I'm talking about pre-liberalization, where consumption was, it was a social embarrassment. Like my mother or women would not talk about what they had or the holidays they went to. It was, you shied away from that. The ambassador car, that's the epitome of the times, because, everybody went at the same speed. Even if you wanted to, even if you had the drive, you couldn't drive faster than others. And today, we are a nation of risk takers. Every person out here in this room, we've taken risks. We've torn the social fabric of family. We've torn the social fabric of being, in traditional jobs. We've come out, we've invested in ourselves, we've come for a better future. So India is a risk-taking nation today. We are increasingly being, therefore, connected by culture. And I'm taking a leaf of what you said on migrants. Because when you are a migrant, I'm a migrant. I left Assam, which is my home. I go there maybe once a year. But all of us are connected, A, of course, through technology, and B, through culture. Therefore, the expectation of the consumer today, Nima, to get back to the insights is much more than a very, very emotional storytelling campaign. Okay. It is about what is a brand giving me? How is a brand engaging with me? Is there a platform where I can express myself? Is there an issue which is being addressed, which is maybe raising social awareness or reflecting my life and my journey? So brands are actually doing a lot more than they had to do before, because it is a challenging environment, but in the challenges lies the potential, and it is a very, very exciting time for marketing today.
And at no point was I questioning whether marketers were doing it right, because for people who watch ads here, once you've been in the United States for about 5 to 10 years, I remember when I went back in 2011, I was looking at the ads, and I know what the NRI conversations are, and they used to be like, are we still doing the whole I'm a better wife because I use the right detergent kind of thing? And that's the kind of questions that would come up. And I had no answer to that. And then when I did go and actually do the research, I think one thing we can say with certainty is that the marketers and advertisers in India do really get it. Because it isn't as patronizing as we may see it. But they do read into it the sort of like, I'm a partner with you, and that's sort of the flavor that does.
Just to build on that, there's a lot of empowerment of Indian women which is happening today through advertising. So the role of the women, what is she being portrayed as? Single parenting, choice of life partners, things which were taboo, which you wouldn't speak about, are being used in the guise of brand messaging and communication. So you're doing more than just talking about the benefit of a product, because you are talking to a culture and cultural change. So I so agree with you.
Very cool. Can I, Bita?
The one thing we have to be open as marketers today is learning from others, whether it is Patanjali and what is behind the success, or in fact, I've spoken about this before, reverse mentoring, which is there are a lot of startups today who approach marketing quite differently because they have very small budgets, they need to make use of media, they need to come and create an impact with a very short period of time, unlike, say, a L'Oreal or some of the other brands, where you do have the luxury of either budgets or, say, choice of media. The thing is that there are a lot of things which, because we always talk about learning from bigger organizations or more structured organizations, but it is really these new players with the bold gut and the gumption that are teaching us a lesson on too. And if we have the humility to learn from them, then it's a two-way process and it'll make marketing richer.
Thanks.
Yeah, the one thing we have to be open as marketers today is learning from others, whether it is Patanjali and what is behind the success, or in fact, I've spoken about this before, reverse mentoring, which is there are a lot of startups today who approach marketing quite differently because they have very small budgets, they need to make use of media, they need to come and create an impact with a very short period of time, unlike, say, a L'Oreal or some of the other brands, where you do have the luxury of either budgets or, say, choice of media. The thing is that there are a lot of things which, because we always talk about learning from bigger organizations or more structured organizations, but it is really these new players with the bold gut and the gumption that are teaching us a lesson on too. And if we have the humility to learn from them, then it's a two-way process and it'll make marketing richer.
Thanks.
Okay, Amol, right? You've asked a $1 million question, and if there was a right answer, everybody would have been very happy. To start with, yes, we are a nation that loves drama, loves Bollywood, loves cricket, and therefore, to break clutter and to make a point, historically or traditionally, there has been use of celebrities for brands that can afford celebrities. So yes, if they didn't work, then they wouldn't have been endorsers, because the fact is there is a lot of money involved when you endorse, when you use a celebrity, whether he's, say, a Bollywood celeb or anybody from who's a poster boy or a poster girl. Having said that, there is a change today because digital and social media are throwing up a lot of celebrities, like stand-up comedians, for instance, local bands. I come from the Northeast, where there's a brand of Naga sisters, and they sing Christmas carols, they sing songs, Western music, and they are in their own right becoming a brand to reckon with. YouTube has their own set of celebrities today. In fact, some of the clients I work with and some of the brands I work on, they are looking at YouTube celebrities, whether it's about, again, pairs like duos who are into comedians or generally who host shows, for instance. So it is shifting, but the fact is that it is such a crowded market out there that to make yourself heard, any face which is a known face really helps. So for instance, if you use even a YouTube celeb, I'm not even talking about Bollywood celebrities, you have a fan club, you already have a lot of people who love that person, and therefore there's an easier acceptance of the message that you're sharing. But it is moving, because today it is more about reality, it is more about, well, not reality, but more of a reflection of real life. Stars have become very accessible now. They have their own Twitter accounts, they have their own social media handles, so it's not like brands have exclusively brought you a star today. It is changing, but yes, it'll take time before we completely move out of celebs. Yeah, I'll just build on what you said, because this is a marketing forum, and maybe some of you, if not all, will go on to be marketers and will review advertising and create it, if not work in advertising. Look, at the end of the day, it is storytelling. And storytelling historically has been exaggeration. Otherwise, it's not a story. It doesn't tickle our imagination. So the script always is an ordinary day, an ordinary person, something happens, and there's an extraordinary life after that. And that's truly the script of our lives. Artists have used it in paintings. Theater artists have used it in plays. Hollywood uses it for the best films that we've seen. yes, it should not be offensive, but at the same time, it should be something that compels you to sit up and say, you know what, I want that brand or I want that product. And that's really the secret of marketing.
We would love to take more questions, but then we have to wrap this up right now. We are all available. I think I speak for us, all of us, when I say we're marketers. We love to talk about what we do all the time. So Jessie, Satyaki, Babita, Rajat, thank you so much. Thanks, Sharanya, as well.
You.
And thanks all of you for being here and being such an engaged audience. And feel free to come over and talk to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.